Is arranging Usama Rahim's burial. Again, he was the young man shot when police came at them with a big military knife.
It led to the young man's death. I think that the young man might have put his head in the jaw of a lion and it got it crushed.
Do you know where the family, how long till
they said they are on their way from Brighton. They're trying to arrange for his burial arrangements, which we are hoping that will be tomorrow. And they just called me and said, well, was I here yet? And I said, I was struggling to get here. I've had so many things to do. So forgive me for being late.
We heard from Ibrahim Rahim a little bit more today, calling for calm after he previously made statements in the video.
Well, he emotionally responded, and he responded to the information that he received, you know. He heard that, when we hear about a young black man, it's not unheard of that he would be shot in the back in America. It's a climate of racism. I'm not saying that America is racist, but there are still elements of racism in this country, and I think that we have to be careful if we're going to uncover what is real and good about this situation. There's some things real and good, and that we need to uncover what the young man did, how much he said, what were the circumstances of. They say that I heard today that they were surveying him or surveilling him for some 3 years, and that for the few weeks that they've been surveilling him, and their surveillance was going on for 24/7.
Where did you hear that, sir?
My wife said that she heard that on some news report. I'm not sure how definite that is, but we do know that there was surveillance going on, and if they considered him as a very dangerous person, that means if they considered him a very dangerous person, they should have took precautions in approaching him. I would. I wouldn't approach a wild animal or anything that I thought was dangerous without being fully prepared, especially if I wanted to capture and keep him alive. So I don't think that their intent was to capture him and keep him alive.
Do you agree with Ibrahim's brother's comment now that the time is for calm?
The time is for calm. What are we going to do? The boy is gone. We have to move on. We have to find out more, and I think that if the Boston Police Department and then the FBI do some more thorough investigation, they said they were calling for transparency, then I'm looking for that transparency. I want to know who orchestrated this incident. I mean, I know that they can plan for capturing, like I said, wild animals or anybody they want to get. So I think it was poorly constructed, and I think it was ill-conceived, and I think it was reckless.
I understand the family wants to see the video just as you have, and it's now being arranged.
Right, I'm hoping so, and I'm hoping that we can bring some closure to the family. I ask that God overlook the shortcomings of the people who continue to exist that murdered the young man. I know that they probably didn't want, that's not what they intended in their hearts, but this is what they're trained, to shoot at the critical mass and in an open space with cars going by, and a school bus that was actually in the video. Did you see the video?
No, we haven't seen it.
Okay, well, there's a school bus that actually goes around the turn just right along the time that they were firing on it. So, I mean, that's a very dangerous thing. If they're concerned with public safety, then public safety needs to be considered for all of us. I mean, he hadn't killed anybody, you know. His tongue was wagging, as I understand, saying things that I think were inappropriate, but that doesn't warrant killing someone.
He had also bought 3 knives and was bringing a knife with him.
Well, they promised the police headquarters, at police headquarters, they promised that they would show the family the film, and I think it would help bring some closure to the matter. It's the film is not definitive, it's not clear as to what transpired, but it does show some interaction between some officers coming out that the Boston Police Department and the FBI said were two Boston Police, 3 FBI, I'm not quite sure of the mix, and that they approached the young man, and they say that he brandished a knife, and they backed away from it. And it seemed like that might have been what happened.
Were the officers in uniform?
They were ununiformed.
You say that he was wagging his tongue, but the police say he bought 3 knives and had one of them with him. Is that more than...
No, I'm talking about what he was going to do with them. Right. He had some threatening conversation on the internet, phone calls. I'm not sure about any of that. Well, so I can't speak to that.
Maybe you had a very different impression of what happened initially. Do you think that his ability to watch this video will now change his impression of what transpired out there?
I think that he's a very intelligent man, a very settled person, and I think that this will help bring some calm to his heart, that maybe his brother might have, stimulated the situation. I'm not sure.
If police believe that some sort of attack or violent behavior was imminent, what would have been the appropriate method for trying to speak?
Listen, they are the professionals. They're professional people who apprehend people all the time. If they wanted to get a Whitey Bulger, they just, you know, they know what to do. If they want to take him down or without killing him, they know what to do. They've been, the surveillance has gone on for some time. So they know his pattern of behavior and everything else. And if they thought of him as being dangerous and volatile, then they should have took precautions, so that, you know, so they could at least question him.
Did you make a phone call to his father to say goodbye and the context of the phone call?
I'm sorry.
Did you make a phone call to his father?
I heard that his father said, that he heard him on the phone, and that he said, I can't, he was kind of gurgling, so I can't breathe. I don't know if any of this is true at all, but excuse me.
Have you talked with the family over the past few days about them looking back to see whether they now, in hindsight, can see any evidence of what the investigators call radicalization?
I'm trying to let them deal with their sorrow. You know, maybe we'll have some further conversation as the days go by. Right now, I think that there's two things. There's the mechanics of their son's death, about getting him in the ground. But what we got from one funeral parlor, not the funeral parlor that we have dealing with his burial, said that they called Knollwood Memorial Park, and they said that they wouldn't take him because he was a suspected terrorist.
So you're facing difficulty with the burial because of...
Well, this is what we heard from the Knollwood Memorial Park. But the other group called, said they welcomed him, you know. So,
Where is that?
That's in Canton.
Abdullah, you said that you knew Usama as a young man as he was growing up. What would cause him, even if he was just talking, what would cause him to say something about killing police officers to his nephew? The allegations are true.
Nothing of the religion teaches that. What he gets this is from the media. The media teaches our children. We know our homes and our religious organizations no longer influence. They're on the internet and watching media more and watching Rambo movies than they are influenced by what we teach them or what religions teaches them. I mean, that's like asking, what would make the Ku Klux Klan act the way they do?
Are you talking about propaganda videos? Is that what you're talking about?
Propaganda videos, and also this the general media.
So you're saying you think he might have been influenced by jihadist propaganda video? Is that possible?
No, I don't know about jihadist. He's influenced by the media. The media is teaching us a great many things about what the world is today, and instead of teaching what the world could be, if we would turn to follow some of these people that we say that we believe in, Prophet Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, you know, Prophet Moses, we should say, what would Jesus do? What would Muhammad do? What would Prophet Moses do? What are the teachings? Not to chop off people's heads. As a matter of fact, the religion of Islam is a religion of invitation to the word salam, which means peace.
Do you think the popular culture is more of a danger and more of a cause of some of these things happening than the directed jihadi messages from the Middle East?
The jihadi messages don't really reach us, many of them in Arabic. And
You've been listening to Abdullah Farouk. He is from a local mosque. He is a local imam speaking about the police shooting the other day of Usama Rahim, killed by Boston police. Of course, there was an arrest later in that day in what has been a bigger terror investigation, as many sources, and in fact the government has said that the two were planning to try to behead local officers. We were told that the family of Rahim was speaking. That hasn't happened yet. According to the man who was just speaking, that family is still trying to put together the burial of their son.
If, in fact, the family comes out to make a statement, we will return to this and we will take it live. Otherwise, we will have the very latest tonight on WBZ News at 5. We'll rejoin regular programming.
Within the time that we were supposed to swap, he was going to get off the